Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at this second generation Mazdaspeed 3. We've been having some trouble out of it, some stuttering, terrible acceleration. So we're going to diagnose it, hopefully find out what's wrong and fix it. Popping the hood here, you can see a couple things have already been done. The top mount intercooler delete, as you can see. Moved it down front. Just put in a bigger turbo a while back, but ever since we put that in, we've been having some problems. You want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, so about 2 years ago, we put this turbo on here, and then pretty much right after that, it started stuttering, running lean. Doesn't stutter anymore, so we've done something so far, which we're going to point out soon hereafter.
And so we got the intake and the battery out, so you can see the turbo a little better. So with this new turbo setup, you're supposed to be running what, like 350 horsepower to the wheel? Something like that, 400?
Should be like 350 wheel horsepower, about 400 foot-pounds of torque.
Boost controller's right there.
There's the wastegate, that black thing on the left, and then this is the dump tube. So when the wastegate opens, the exhaust gas comes through this tube, completely separate of the downpipe and exhaust that you see up there above. It's also got an intake, like I said, the front mount intercooler. The fuel pump's got internals as well, so it doesn't dip pressure when you're in the high RPMs or wide open throttle. Over here, there's two dual oil catch cans. So that one is vented, and then there's one behind it. They both got drain valves. You just kind of drain those out when you do your oil changes. And that right there is the aftermarket PCV plate. You got to have this if you're running catch cans, because the factory PCV plate doesn't have enough ports for all this stuff that you need for 2 catch cans.
So one of the first things that we did was actually change the O2 sensor, the wideband, right?
Yeah, so this car, it's got a wideband O2 sensor, and because it's boosted, pretty much any turbo car is going to have one of those. We bought a used one, and we tested it with a multimeter, and the old one that was in there did not pass the multimeter reading tests that it needed to. So
put a new one of those guys in there. It still ran kind of funky. We checked MAP values, they were fine. There's something interesting going on with the MAP sensor though.
Yeah,
we're in like really low voltage, aren't we?
The MAP sensor doesn't even get to like a volt, which everybody I've talked to has told me not to worry about it. I don't think the tune is using that value. That might be why it's not registering, but still kind of unsure about that one as of now.
We did end up getting a smoke tester for a decent price on Amazon.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff.
We did find some smoke coming out of the vented catch can.
First, there's a check valve on each loop, so you need that to be in the correct orientation, which ours were, but what we didn't realize was there was 2 different check valves. One of them was spring assisted and one of them is just a low pressure, and we had them in the wrong loops. We swapped that. We haven't smoke tested it since, so we're going to do that here today so you guys can see how that looks.
Hopefully we can figure something out here. It's definitely not heavy. And we got a nice fresh coolant reservoir.
Yeah.
It's not yellow and crusty.
We changed the fuel filter in the tank as well, which, thanks to Mazda's ingenious engineering, the plate that you need to get the fuel pump out from under the back seat is not the right size, so you have to cut out a hole. Change that filter. The old one looked like a tea bag. Didn't seem to fix anything, but hopefully it'll prevent bad things from happening.
All right, let's get the smoke tester on this thing, see if we can't find anything. Smoke tester heating up. Pretty cool, runs off a car battery. That looks questionable. Oh yeah, she's chooching all right.
So yeah, we're gonna take this here little probe. I'm gonna safely insert it right in here.
That smells foul.
Now we're just gonna wait. It does take a good bit of time to fill everything up.
So we've been smoke testing this. We did find a leak right here. So it's going into the intake manifold. This is just loose. You could just pull it off by hand, which is kind of strange because we never really touched this whenever we've been working on it. Hopefully this is the solution to all of our problems. We're smoke testing it again to see if there's any other leaks. We're on a little test drive here, see what happens.
So what I got up here now is fuel pressure, AFR, injection amount, injector pulse width, the fuel trims, and the boost level. So when we get driving, you'll see this number is going to climb up way past 14. And so is this number. It's going to peak out around 25. That should
pretty much maxed out.
Yeah, this shouldn't be higher than about 10, and under any amount of load, this should be like 12.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Still running lean. All right, well, I guess next to spool valve, the spill valve, right?
Yeah, we're gonna pop that bad boy out.
Spool valve or spill valve?
Spill valve.
Spill valve. Spill valve. All right. So next thing we're gonna check is the spill valve here, which is a 32mm wrench.
This is a big boy right here.
Take this out. We're gonna clean it. Hopefully it's dirty. The only reason I'm saying hopefully is because maybe that's our problem. We cleaned it out, we got it all back together. You can see all the crap that came out of there on the napkin. I'll post a couple links in the video description on how to take this apart. Let's go put this thing back on. We cleaned the fuel pump, we cleaned all the internals, sides back on the car, and it's still running a little rough. We did notice on the tuner here, we're having a little bit of a problem with one of our readouts, the throttle position sensor.
But one of the things I've been tracking is duty cycle of the throttle, and then the desired duty cycle that the ECU is demanding. With these max and min values, the max value for the desired was reading 84, and the actual duty cycle was only like 65. So there's a massive difference between those. The throttle position was about where it's supposed to be, matching up with the actual but not the desired.
So Peyton, do you think the throttle body's gonna fix all of Kyle's problems?
But don't call him that.
Okay. Al, do you think the throttle body is gonna fix all of Kyle's problems?
I hope so. I'd be kind of upset if it doesn't.
Kyle,
Yeah.
is the throttle body gonna fix all of your problems?
I don't know, but this one's...
What you think?
I try not to.
All right, let's take a look at this thing. There's a crack right there, right on the edge right here.
It's not sealed.
It's pretty low to the ground too, so if any water got in there, this thing could easily be bad. Let's see what's in there.
So we're gonna pop this off.
Oh my goodness.
That's one of the holes they tried to fix. I can see daylight through here. See the light? No light.
That's not good. Doesn't look great.
Definitely should not be rusty in here.
Got a couple pieces right here. Hopefully that's not important. Well, if water got in here, we can probably assume that it's further
Everywhere.
We got the new throttle body here. We're about to put it in. Either way, this thing probably needs to get replaced because the other one was cracked and looked pretty rusty. See, throttle body's in, nice and shiny, brand new. We're gonna get this lower intercooler pipe in, and we'll go on a test run. We're gonna do the throttle body relearn real quick, and we'll get this thing going. Moment of truth. Yeah, let me move this before I cut something off.
It still sounds good, but it ain't feeling good.
And we're still running lean. So I guess we're back to the drawing board. When we first started having problems with this car, we thought it might be the MAF sensor, but we checked the voltages on the scan tool and it was reading correctly, so we kind of bypassed it. Coming back to it, we did notice that there was a crack around the seat, which could be letting air in. We also noticed that the ohms were not correct when we probed it with a multimeter. So we went ahead and replaced that. Let's go ahead and see if that did anything.
I'll take it easy at first. Just kind of make sure AFRs are good. Fuel trims, make sure they're not going crazy. So right now fuel trims are just around 1, which is way better.
Oh yeah, it's like a lot better in it. Get the gas.
Still not leaning out.
Oh yeah.
And it's not stuttering in between shifts, which is good.
I think I might have been in it. We got to get on it a couple more times to see if it's fixed, but
It's looking good so far.
Yeah, so far it's looking great. I think that did it.
I think she's healthy.
I think it was a MAF all along.
That definitely was one of the many issues, probably.
All right, give her some juice.
Holy shit, dude. And that's only revision 1 of the tune. That's only 18 pounds. We should be going up to around 20, 21.
That's all we got for today. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll get this car on the drag strip and maybe on the dyno at some point. All right, guys. See you next time.
Peace.